Good evening, boys and girls. We made it to another end of the week. It is Casual Friday here, or is it? Is it ever casual when this man is in town and it's Kevin Says? Let's be having ya.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. Joining me once again in the HSHQ is my podcast brother from another mother, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell.
How you doing, Soph? How are you?
I think I'm okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be honest about something. I'm in a very irritable mood today, Kev. Would you like to know why?
Go on. I'm sure you're going to tell me. Go on.
I'm going to tell you. Firstly, good evening, squaddies. We hope you're all well. You made it to another week. Congratulations. Thank you for being with us once again. Couldn't do it without you.
At ease. Come on. Tell me.
It's going to be my first question to you as well, because we're going to get into the Arsenal stuff and your videos in just a second. No, it's not the players that have got me irritable, Raul. It's this Ronaldo signing with Manchester United. Not because I wanted us to sign Ronaldo, Kev. Not because I thought, we can't even be in that conversation or that game. I mean, and no, it's not PMS, for crying out loud. You guys are killing me. It just irritated me. Because you know what it did, that signing? It lifted an entire fan base around the world.
Of course it would.
He is just what he and Messi have done. I've been tracking the United Instagram as well, just to see the numbers. Their shares went up 8%.
No, hold 8%, on. Did you see them burning the shirts first?
Yes, I did. This is why it's hilarious as well. So yesterday I was laughing, and today I'm now irritated. Because it just brings you back to Man United, Arsenal, the good old days, the rivalries, the Pizzagate. I mean, all of that, the players we had, even back then we could bully him a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because he wasn't his big old Ronaldo yet, but he was prolific. He was amazing. He was incredible in the Premier League. And I'm sure the fans who burned their shirts yesterday feel absolutely stupid today. But it just irritated me, Kev. It irritated me because we're so far from that.
Yeah, we are. We are so far from it. Yet we expect what we have to be able to challenge. It's not feasible. It's not right. It's not right, Soph. So we again, that realization of where we actually are, that's the reality. And it is painful. It is.
And then when I heard this, Julian, I'm putting this up, and Mark, no, it's not menopause. Hilarious. Why did I even say that? I should have just said I'm irritable right away because Man United signed Ronaldo. But I paused. I did a little bit of a dramatic number, and now I'm letting them have it, Kev. But this too is irritating me. They spent less than Arsenal, but the wages they're giving Varane and Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho, you cannot compare to what they've given Lokonga and Tavares and Ben White.
That comment there, Callum. That comment sums up our fan base. That's what it does. The strategic spending of a team doesn't necessarily mean transfer fees, because the wages far outweigh the transfer fees.
Yeah. And I think it's really, really important that we have to, keep that in mind. But still, everyone in chat, you're right. There's so many of you. We're so far away from it. So I just wanted to say as well, remember we did the show with Potsy and Gianni Judges and yourself. And I had picked United to win the league in our pre-season game show, and now they have Ronaldo. I think they're a bit delusional in the sense that they think, oh, it's going to be so easy, they'll win the league. But it's very embarrassing. He was never going to City, Kev. That was never going to happen, was it?
No, I don't think it was. I think it was a real good manipulation of the media. I really do.
And the agent.
No, well, the agent manipulates the media, doesn't he?
Yeah,
That's his job. That's what he's got to do. And let's be honest with you. Manchester United, we knew, were virtually a striker away from really having a big say. They finished second last season. They've got Cavani, but for no disrespect to Cavani, because he's a good player. He's not Ronaldo. Ronaldo's a difference maker, a real difference maker.
He's one of the GOATs. I mean, he is one of the GOATs.
And arguably, it's one of two. You know, if you pick Ronaldo, I get it. If you pick Messi, I get it too. So,
well, he's definitely in a group of Maradona, Pele, Messi, him, Cruyff. I mean, there's no denying it. I know people don't like Ronaldo because he's arrogant, but I love him. I think he's a brilliant example to kids to show how you treat your body. He's 36, Kev. This is a romantic signing, yes. There was an intervention from Rio Ferdinand. Apparently, there's a rumor that there was an intervention from Sir Alex Ferguson as well. But they're not signing a 36-year-old that is a dud. That dude can play until he's 40. He's in supreme condition.
Listen, he can finish. I tell you, that's one thing he can do. He can finish. And the amount of quality players that United have got and the amount of pressure that they're going to put on defenses. And you know Ronaldo, he's right foot, left foot, and he can head it really well as well. So
one of the most underappreciated parts of his game, isn't it? His heading.
Exactly. So look, they've although he is technically older, they have signed a prestige player.
What it's going to do for them, Kev, imagine being a youth player and walking through the halls, and then Ronaldo's just like walking past, going to get his lunch. I mean, just him being in that environment, seeing him in the building. I mean, they've signed Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. They have signed the creme de la creme, and they've got him back. And there's a rumor that Cavani's willing to give up his number 7 shirt. Don't be surprised if Cavani makes a dart back to South America. I think they're going to want to keep him, but that is a good team, and it irritated me.
Let's be honest, it's a good squad, Sophie. And here's the other thing, Sophie. Here's the other thing. It's not just the players and the young players. The fan base are buzzing. From what was horrific yesterday, hearing about City, my pals up here, oh my God, they were going nuts because a lot of them are United fans. They were going mental. All of a sudden today, you would think they've won the lottery.
It's unbelievable, Kevin.
Oh.
It is really unreal. And as I said, 8% increase in share price and 250 million value just in the since the few hours.
Pays for itself, doesn't it? It pays for itself. And the spin-offs from Ronaldo, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So do you fancy them more now than you did before?
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to be up there in with a shout for the title for sure. Now they've got a genuine threat. Someone who can win a match on his own. Let's be honest. He gets 2 chances. It could be 2-0. Game over. In any game. And he tends to turn up against the big boys as well.
Oh, yeah. He loves it. And Kev, if I were United fans, I would stop complaining about your owners for just a little bit, maybe.
Well,
give the moaning to us. Let us.
But here's the funny thing, Sophie. Do you know what? We were on with Kenny Ken yesterday, and I said winning cures all. Mm-hmm. When the team are winning, it's very difficult to have a go at owners and when the team are winning, because that's what the football club should be about. It should be about winning. But when you don't win, that's when you have the opportunity and the right to complain and look at why. Why aren't we winning? But you know what? You got to give credit where credit's due. those 3 signings really pushed them to say, we could challenge anybody.
Yeah. I mean, really, really quite a day. And when you look at, this window, it's been kind of nuts. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there as well. And also ask you, Kev, before we get stuck into your 3 questions for tonight. Manchester City, a lot of people taking pops at them that they couldn't sign Kane and they couldn't sign Ronaldo. They still signed Jack Grealish. They still have goals in midfield from Mahrez and Sterling, and they have Gundogan.
Don't forget, he was
Torres.
20 odds last season. Unbelievable.
Jesus's ratio of scoring goals coming off the bench is as good as some who get to start in every Premier League game. So don't you write that off. And it's just a shame that Messi didn't go to City, because seeing Messi at City and Ronaldo at United, that would have been a lot of fun, even as a neutral, Kevin.
Derby Day would have been fire, I tell you.
Yeah. Well, look, here we are. We get back to the Arsenal. I'm just going to get stuck right into it. Kev's prepped 3 questions for you today. I hope I didn't depress anyone in the chat. It is the reality,
only
though.
Only everyone. So
it just bummed me out a little bit. It bummed me out a lot. Right, here we go. Kev says, it's Friday, people. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. This is Kev Says, and this is question 1. Going to get straight into it, squaddies. Here's number 1. How important was it to see our forward score against West Bromwich Albion on Wednesday? Question 1.
How good was it to see our forward score in the game against?
Not how important. How important was it?
Well, for me, it was exceptionally important that Aubameyang, I don't care who we're playing, if he hadn't scored in that game, the narrative would have been so negative. But he looked fresh. He looked ready. He looked like he was bothered to play. And him especially, I thought, Kev, was really incredible. So let's start getting everyone's comments up. And remember, guys, there's 300 of you in live chat this fine Friday night.
150 minimum, guys. 150 minimum. You hate Spurs and you love us. Hit that like button. Come on, guys. Minimum 150.
Will do. And you're right, Footballholic. I should have mentioned De Bruyne when mentioning all those players. Thank you for correcting me. Right, Terence says, how important? Very, 9 out of 10. Let's see. We've got Tom. Very. Now we have something to choose from for goal of them.
Yeah. You're right there. Tom, you're right. Oh, God.
Stefan says,
not bad at it. Yeah.
So, not important at all. Let's see against City. Well, this is an interesting one, Kev. I know you're going to do your roundup at the end, but I had a bit of a...
But why wouldn't it be important? We hadn't scored before then.
Well, and the dry spell, Aubameyang.
Yeah, so why would Stefan think it's not important at all?
Tell us, Stefan, why you don't think it's important at all. Because, the tap-ins at the start, they were lucky goals. But the rest of the goals were pretty special. The Saka goal especially. Oba's goal, his third one, was special. You don't care how they go in, do you, when you're a striker?
Sophie, let me just tell you this. They count the same. And you make your own luck in football. Because if you don't put the cross in, hey, look, we've seen many games where we haven't even really threatened any goal. So let alone being on top and pushing and then getting a rebound off a goalkeeper and one off the post, that's good play by us. So listen, I'll take. I wouldn't mind 5 of them tomorrow. I'll take 5 tap-ins tomorrow. I'll tell you that much.
Oh my God, I'll take own goals. I'll take 5 own goals by them tomorrow. Wesberg, goals win matches, and there has been a clear lack of creativity in us being a goal threat at all. So for us to score some much-needed goals, it was vital. It's a good one.
Wesberg. Well said.
Rich, good evening. Hello to you. Thanks again for joining us. One of our OGs is Rich. Very important Oba scores, but we had 3 one-on-ones versus goalkeeper, and we missed all 3. See, even Kev, what do you say to that?
But it's still complaining. And even one of those one-on-ones did end up in the net when Pepe scored. So come on, Rich. Come on.
All right. Knuckles says, if that gives them confidence going forward, good, but we shall see. Now, a lot of people are saying that, Kev. It's not that they're happy that we scored those goals against West Brom, but they want to see us not disappear, or Aubameyang in particular, not disappear against City tomorrow.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question. The question, you see, I want to get back to the question. How important was it to see our forward score? Because it's not just Aubameyang. And I know he's the main guy. I keep saying he's the best gun and all that kind of thing. But you look at Pepe, you look at Saka, you look at Lacazette coming on. That, to me, and I know I'm going to summarize at the end, but to me, I'd rather have them all score than not.
All right, here's one from Cliff. Not very, loved all the goals, but it was against young people. Want to see that against quality opposition, but I did enjoy the goals. Rudy says, very important because Oba's third goal was such a confidence builder goal. That is a great point, and I felt the same, Kev. We've said on this show too, is that Saka needs to score more goals. He needs to get himself in those positions, make better decisions, and really get that goal ratio up. We missed the opportunities last season when Oba wasn't scoring. Our midfield, our flank players, they couldn't score many either. Yeah. So here's one from Drew. Do you have? Well, we'll get to that at the very end. Tammy says, very important and good for momentum. Well done. Caress the like button. Like that. Nobby hates these negative fans. That fans are just expressing their opinion, and some fans are a bit bummed out, but hopefully we can be.
Hold on a minute. What Nobby said was he's got a point, because you know what, some fans have put in a caveat in there. Yeah, it's good, it's important, but let's see against City. We're going to see against City anyway. But it's the importance of that for the players that are forwards. They complain when they don't score, and then now there's a caveat when they do score. That's what he means. I think that's what he means.
I'm going to rifle through some of these. Aubameyang's third goal was typical Aubameyang. GD says massive for confidence in getting some support back from Oba because many have lost faith. Guna Vettel. Oh, I disappeared. It's up the top. Where is it? Right here. Someone. It's not a Heineken. It's a Perrier. BF says it was important. I think a lot was down to Odegaard. He would be a massive player for us and might keep Arteta at the club. Kev, you know what was really interesting? I know our good friend Mike from You Are My Arsenal had written this, and because he was waxing lyrical about Odegaard's pass, in the build-up to the cheeky back, Saka's goal. And everyone was like, oh, come on, it's against West Brom. I mean, what? Let's see him do that against X, Y, and Z. It's really exhausting when that's a good pass no matter who you're playing against.
The fact of the matter is, he spots the space and he utilizes the back heel to perfection. Gets Saka right in the heart of the defense, one-on-one. And how many times have we seen Saka miss those? On his left foot, Sophie. So, you know what? He put him straight in and he finished it off. I think it's good play. And yeah, we weren't playing the strongest opposition. But you know what? I don't care. You only could beat what's in front of you.
Well, Archangel doesn't agree with you at all. I mean, there are a lot of people in chat who...
Like I said, they weren't the strongest, but you only can beat what's in front of you.
Yeah. Daniel says the tap-ins were exceptional, showed great reflexes to take those. I mean, you have to be alert, right?
Alert off the keeper. He outpaced the defender to the rebound of the goalkeeper. And the one off the post, because it was bouncing, can be a difficult one. We've seen players miss those, but Aubameyang took it expertly. And it's Aubameyang who's been going through such a tough time as well, Sophie, let's be honest.
Yes.
So, that for me, is really, really important.
And Tybo brings that up. Oba's missed tap-ins before, so good for him. He got those in. And he was woeful, missing some key chances in pre-season as well as last season. Okay, so this little Soph thing's taken off. I like you guys. I tell you, this is the kind of show where the cards come out. Just be careful, all right?
Yeah, the cards will come out and then the samurai will come out, I tell you.
Exactly. And Taib, no, we're not rescinding your yellow card. Your yellow card stands.
4 left on your band, Taib. Go on. So keep it up.
Okay, let's get a few more of these up before we go to our next question. Again, more of the B-side West Brom. And then Harsh says, Kev, that's the problem. We don't beat 70% of the teams put in front of us. Well, I mean, not last season we didn't. I mean, that's a high ratio, but...
But again, Sophie, the question was, how important was it for us to get our forwards to score goals? Now he's mentioning 70% of the team. No, I mean, come on.
He's riffing off you. Okay, Quanelli, a cup game is a cup game. Doesn't matter who you play with. Wendell, we can only beat what's in front of us. Chelsea, Brentford, in front of you. Let's see. Yes, I did. This is a good point. It's come up before. Anyone else see that Arteta stayed seated for longer periods in the West Brom game? We scored 6 goals. Just saying. Raul says he's agreeing with KC and doesn't very often. Stefan is bringing up the...
I can't believe Raul there. Jeez, Raul, I'll tell you. Wow.
All right. Well, look, in general, it's a mix, Kev, but I think, there's a lot of mixed feelings about who it was against, but the majority is positive about the fact that it's helping the team, and it's a result we all needed, and we needed to see our midfield and our forward line score goals. Period. All right, everyone loves Super Kev. How can you not? He was amazing on Sky Sports, and he pulled out Wimbledon from the draw as well. Right, here we go.
Sophie, let me just get onto that. How many of the people in chat were unhappy about getting Wimbledon at home?
What? Who's unhappy?
No, I'm asking the question. How many?
They thought you were a legend.
Yeah,
I mean, they think you're a legend anyway.
Yeah, but how many Arsenal fans were unhappy? Because I got one, NolaGooner, text me and said, he did. He put it on Twitter and said, "You've messed up my night, Kev. We win 6-0, and I wanted an away. He wanted an away day, and I've messed it up."
He just had one at West Brom. Did you see the Guinness he was downing?
Yeah,
I mean,
so you can't win with some people.
Well, GD is not happy, and neither is Leon. What's happening here? Why?
Yeah,
Daniel thinks it was a great pick.
Listen, a home tie against a lesser opposition. That's what you want in the cup. So tell me why. You see, Sophie, that's why I wanted to touch on this, because you know what? I got some off Everton fans as well.
This is crazy.
A championship team, go play another championship team away in London. And Lindsay and that I'm moaning about, oh my God, you could have got us at home. I'm not picking the home team.
Oh my God, Kev.
I'm not picking the home team,
That's
so how can I get them at home? You know what I mean? It's mad.
Oh God. Yeah, gosh. That's hilarious. And true. Hi, Soph. Oh, I see little Soph's in the house.
Yeah.
Okay,
nice,
good job.
man.
I didn't brandish any cards earlier. You're lucky. Soph is right. They'll always have something to moan about. Never happy. Kev, I love that people are giving you crap. You know what we need to do is we need to have this for you when you're in person with people as well, Yeah.
Brock them up. You can't do right for doing wrong, or do wrong for doing right, or vice versa. Yeah, whichever way you go, so you pull an away tie. Listen, you could have got one of the big boys away. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right, let's get to the next video here. And get ready. My little keyboard warriors over there. Here we go.
Question number 2. Should Aaron Ramsdale be our number 1 ahead of Leno? Question 2.
This is a very interesting question, and obviously this comes off the back of the fact that he did so well against West Brom. Didn't really have a lot to do, but when he was asked to do it, he did it exceptionally well. So I'm going to hand over to the squaddies. I love it when people just answer like, yeah. You guys crack me up.
The reason why I asked this question as well. So, sorry, Sophie, go on.
No, I was going to say, Martin, Ramsdale's got the mojo right now. Leno looking weak. Black and Blanco says he'll be number 1 by Christmas. Go on, Kev. Let everyone know why you're asking this particular question at this point.
The reason why I asked the question is, don't forget there was a lot of hatred by some and a lot of people like myself who didn't really know too much about Ramsdale. Mm-hmm. So we had to do our research. So I done my research. But he looked comfortable. He looked good at coming for crosses. He looked really good with his feet, Sophie. I think that was really important for us. And his distribution, even when he got it, his distribution was very quick at times. So I just think if Leno's not going to be our number 1 goalkeeper moving forward, or if he's not going to sign a new contract, do we make that move now and get Ramsdale in so he can bed himself right in?
Okay, so I completely agree with you on the feet front. Even though he didn't have as many saves to make, what he did in his connecting with the defense and playing the ball, I thought he was really good. Right, Dubba Ducky says no. Liz says yes, yes, yes. Taib says no. Dwayne says not this season. Not this season? Why? What is the reason for not this season, Dwayne? I'm asking you I was going to get into a rap there, a football rap.
There, yeah.
Tom says nope, not yet. Mr. Bungle, we already heard your yeah, but we want to follow up on that one. Yonik says Ramsdale needs to earn it first. Now, I agree with him a little on this front. You can't just hand him the job, but you're going to give him an opportunity in the league at some point, aren't you, Kev? And if Leno continues to blunder playing out the back, it won't be long before Ramsdale takes over.
Well, the only way he's going to earn it is by getting in the team.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get in. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow, though.
I don't know. I don't know. I just asked the question.
All right. We'll keep going then.
It doesn't look like Leno's going to be signing a new deal. So that's why he was bought.
Yeah, I mean, Leno's made it clear that he doesn't really want to be there, and Ramsdale's going to be the number 1. The question is,
should he be our number 1 if he made it clear that he doesn't want to be there?
Well, 100% says Anthony. Martin says Ramsdale got the mojo right now. Leno looking weak. I think we put that one up. Not at the moment until he proves himself. That's a great question from you, Kev. He has to earn the right. Went a little bit backwards. Slow transition. Black and Blanco thinks he'll be number 1 by Christmas. Dublin Gooner says yes, he should, but will probably not play quite yet. You've always talked about Arteta not having complete trust in a lot of the young players, and we've seen him revert to type, i.e., Xhaka, Bellerin, El Neni, these kinds of players. Kev, do you think that he's going to ride the Leno wave until Leno leaves? Because of that, because of how sometimes he likes to operate that way?
Well, I don't. I think obviously Leno's the number 1 right now, but obviously I suppose I'm going to have to give away some of my stuff because you asked the question. What I'm going to say at the end is that Leno, obviously possession is 9/10 of the law. He's number 1. And even against Chelsea, did you see Leno was better? Leno was better. He was better with his feet. He was better all round. And he made a real world-class save from Lukaku's header. So if that's what's going to push him on to be better, then it is a really good thing for Arsenal to do.
Yeah. Gunnar Vettel says no, way too early, Kevin. Matty says stick with him immediately. Labby says too soon next season, put pressure on Leno. I don't think we've paid that money for him to just wait until next season. I really don't. There's a reason why we've gone out and got him, and a lot of that has to do with how Arteta wants to play out the back. Terence says, yes, Ramsdale should get a chance. Leno makes too many errors, like being beaten in his near post too many times. That does happen. Winston says, yes, he seems super confident. So it's a little bit of a mix. Quanelli says, Ramsdale fits the spirit of the team. James says, sell Leno. We are Arsenal. If he doesn't want to be, bye-bye. Mark says, Ramsdale with great pace, fingers crossed. Ramsdale with great pace, fingers crossed this to come. Not sure what you mean by that. Ramsdale doesn't need great pace. But anyway, explain. JS says, Kevin, I disagree with you. He does not look very confident, especially with Mari and White in front of him. Well, excuse me, everyone. Who would be confident with Mari in front of you? Come on. Who?
Well, against Chelsea, I thought Leno done really well. So not 100% not a Brentford, 100% not a Brentford. But I thought Leno done a lot better against Chelsea, even though we get exposed.
Static thinks that Leno is still not the answer. Ramsdale is still not the answer. Rion says, I love how Ramsdale claps the fans. You know what? I think that the way he responded and what he said, he's very good. He understands what it means for away fans, the way he acknowledged them, Kev, and the way he responded to them on social media as well. He's getting stuck into the Arsenal spirit right away. So Tony says we need two good goalkeepers to push each other. Did you see that, Kev, in all the teams that you played? Did you see goalkeepers really pushing each other? Because sometimes they can also get a little bit complacent, especially when you're like the number one.
Yeah, I think that's been the case for Leno. Over the years, we've seen a number one and number two working really good in tandem at times, and it working out. But I think Leno, having Runnison behind you and some of the youngsters, he was complacent, I believe. And all of a sudden I saw, bringing Ramsdale in, he upped his game against Chelsea. And hopefully that Leno will turn up and he'll keep being at that level. We'll see.
I like this one, Kev, from Universal Greek. Where did it go? Everything's moving so fast. But he said, Leno will, just like Wham's last Christmas, Leno will be number one by then. Here it is. Ramsdale will be like last Christmas by Wham, number one. I like that. LPD, we need a top goalkeeper. Ramsdale was fantastic against West Brom, but let's not get ahead of ourselves because I thought he was poor last season as a starter. Are we getting ahead of ourselves, Kev?
So he was playing for Sheffield United, who the season previously were scoring goals and getting their noses in front so they could defend. Last season, they couldn't score. So there was so much more pressure on the defense. And the defense, let's be honest, the defense ain't great. And that's why, good goalkeepers can look bad in front of a bad defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Steve says Martinez used to lift our defense. Leno does the opposite. I think Ramsdale can be as good as Martinez if given the chance. Why not? He deserves the chance. He's going to get his chance and he's going to grab it with both gloves. There's a tacky little pun for you. Right, Kev, there's so many here. And by the way, 450 in live chat, Kev.
Nobby, well said. He's happy to be here. He's happy to be at the Arsenal. 450. Come on, guys. 225 likes. If you hate Tottenham and you love the Arsenal and you love us on the Highbury squad, hit that like button, please. Come on.
Kev, by the way, we have this. Let's see if this works. Not quite yet. We'll figure that out. Kev, I want you to answer this question because it's come up a lot and I wanted to go back and find it here. This from Trusay. It's not Leno's fault these teams were relegated.
No, you mean Ramsdale. It's not Ramsdale's fault.
Ramsdale, yeah.
Yeah, but listen, This is what fans always come out with. Oh, he's been relegated 3 times and this, that, the other. Look at the teams. Look at the teams he's played in. They're not exactly going to be ripping trees up, are they? I saw Chesterfield there. I saw Sheffield United and another. I mean, come on, guys. This is football. It really is football.
It's a little bit unfair, when you're in a bad team. That Sheffield United team just was poor all the way around, and I know a lot of people bring up his shot stopping and that it was poor against Sheffield United, Kev, but also it's very different when you're playing, and they were rock bottom most of the season.
Confidence is low. You're getting exposed week in and week out in the top league. The goalkeeper is on a hiding to nothing.
Also, why don't people bring this up then too? How many players have you seen in relegated teams? Chambers was relegated with Fulham, but he still gets a chance at Arsenal. There are a lot of players that have been relegated at Villa over the years. Teams that have yo-yoed up and down, and top players who go there and sign there and earn good wages, once they hit the Championship, they're out of there. Not everyone sticks with the relegated team. So, and again, it's a team sport, guys. It's not an individual's.
Yeah, but so far they're good enough to come to Arsenal. That's what our fan base would say. Are the relegated players good enough to come to Arsenal? Remember, they're still having a go at Ødegaard for the 30 million quid. 30 million. I mean, it would pay too much. It's ridiculous.
If there's 2 players I really would love to shine this season when they get their chance, it is Ødegaard and Ramsdale. I really want them to shove it down the negative fans' throats, because Ødegaard is quality. And had he not come on loan last season, everyone would have been so excited about that signing. They really would have. And I forgot what else made me irritable, Kev. It was the idea that Basuma could be going to Liverpool for 40 million. That really irritated me. Right.
Hey, that's irritated me too. Don't worry about that.
I was going to say, if it's irritated me, it must have irritated you. Right. Some really good responses, Kev. Let's get to the final question, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, here we go, you guys. Good stuff. I'll keep putting them up. Keep them coming.
What's more important this season as question 3, the bonus? What's more important this season? Europe or a trophy? What would you say? So, let's recap. How important was it to see our forward score on Wednesday against West Bromwich Albion? That's number 1. Number 2, should Ramsdale start and be number 1 ahead of Leno? Number 2. And number 3, what's more important? Europe or a trophy? So, squaddies, it's going to be interesting to hear what you've got to say. So, I look forward to dealing with you, speaking to you, debating with you. And you know what happens if I don't like you. All the very best, squaddies. Take care.
Okay, let's see if we really get some of this going here on this one. We had this conversation a little bit with Kenny Ken the other night, didn't we, Kev? In the quick fire round. And it was a very quick fire moment, so we didn't really get stuck into it.
With the squaddies, we didn't get stuck in with the squaddies.
Yes. And you and Kenny both opted for the trophy at the time.
Silverware, yeah.
So let us get right to the very top, because this one is an interesting one. I'm just going to put them all up here. Okay. John Smith says a trophy. God, it's just sacking Arteta. Anik says Europe, clock orange trophy. Europe is the most important, according to Jared. Hey, Jared, we hope you're well, mate. Neil says both. Arsenal Maniac says depends on the trophy. I think we're talking League Cup or FA Cup here. I don't think we are talking Premier League.
Premier League. Come on, yeah.
Martin says it's Champions League or bus. Rahul, who someone was trying to teach me how to pronounce this properly in chat, and I'm sure I bastardized many of your names, and I apologize. Rahul, you can let me know if that's more correct. Europe, then League Cup. Tom also says depends on which trophy. Both. Johnny wants Europe and a trophy. Hey, we got some ambition going on here, Kev, in the old chat room. Let me.
Yeah, but it's not and it's or. Let's not get ambition. It's Europe or a trophy. So let's not get smart.
All right, let's not get smart because you know what's here, the old black book. And it's not a black book full of hot girls' numbers, by the way, or hot guys. Wow, here's an interesting one from Sidan.
Look who it is. Look who it is. It's the
It's
Leicester.
the Leicester.
Nice one, Sidan. Get out of it, Sidan. Behave yourself.
He's back. Oh, I'm assuming it's a he, could be a she.
Maybe he means Leicester.
Yeah. I mean, West Ham, hammered. Yeah, we talked about that with you. Right. Trevor says Europe would be a great step forward for the club. Mr. Bungle says a trophy because that means Europe. Stefan says Europe ASAP. We need to compete now. Listen, this is, Kev, no European football. You're seeing the profile of player we're signing. But winning a trophy does get you back into Europe. So Universal Greek, Europe, and it needs to be CL. Europe is greater than a trophy. Is it? I think getting back into Europe for fiscal reasons is fundamental this season. But is it greater than a trophy? As a fan, it's got to be a trophy, right? Let's see. Rago says trophy all day long. Michael, 2 trophies. Dubba Ducky, Europe need to progress with our league form. Avon says, I think our best chance of Europe might be a trophy. And then these guys are going back at it. Which trophy is he on about? Only PL trophy matters, otherwise top 4. You don't think the FA Cup, those 4 FA... Imagine if we hadn't... Listen, I think those FA Cups, Kev, were a blessing and a curse in weird ways, but a real blessing. Because in our darkest moments, when the club is supposedly on their knees and we're in the worst form of our lives, from 2014 to 2020, we won 4 FA Cups. Imagine if we hadn't had those moments.
If we hadn't had those moments, Sophie, who knows what the fan base would be doing right now. So, again, the Cups have kept us focused. Us fans, it's kept us happy at the time of winning the trophy, Sophie, because you know as well as I do, winning at Wembley is infectious. It is important. And yeah, we haven't done it in the league. So if you don't do it in the league, you've got to get some silverware. You have to.
Kev, you could also argue that had Arteta not won that FA Cup final, there are a lot of fans that wouldn't have had the patience they have with him over the last 19 months in the league. Do you think that's a fair statement?
Yeah,
winning that trophy gave him a lot of love coupons, did it not?
Yeah, look, I think the fact that he got them playing in a knockout competition and he got them past some of the teams he did was so important. Teams who, I mean, Manchester City were fully loaded. We beat them in the semi-finals. Obviously, went to Sheffield United in their good season. Went there and we beat them. Then we got Man City in the semi-final. We took care of them. Then we played Chelsea in the final. Go a goal down. Let's not forget, Soph. We adjust and we beat them. So I think him getting a tune out of the players, although it's a cup, made us feel good. It was a feel-good factor. But what that then done is the expectations obviously start to rise. There's still so much work to do internally. There's players at the club who didn't want to be there. There's players at the club who were disruptors. And we started off the first half of last season terribly. So I know there was no fans, but we still started off terribly. So again, call it love coupons, call it he got a tune out of certain players that, you know, maybe didn't perform. The fact is we won a trophy. A trophy is so important.
Kev, I'm not being funny, and I guess I'm not being funny. I'm not funny. But there's no reason why we can't win the League Cup and the FA Cup. There is no reason that we can't. Oh, well, look, the League Cup, I mean, Manchester City kind of own that, don't they, over the last few years? But it's been almost 30 years since we've won that trophy. 30.
Sophie, how many times has both cups been won?
Yeah. I mean, look, the FA Cup, we're the best. We're top of the tree.
Well, we done that in 93.
Yeah.
But there ain't many teams who have won both.
Yeah.
So when you say, we could win, well, there's many a good team that has never done it. So it's a bit of silverware. Again, because you got new players, some of the players have never won anything in their life, Soph.
You mean like Tottenham players?
Well, some of the players we've recruited haven't won any silverware.
I mean, look, winning breeds winning. We've got to develop a winning culture. Even if we getting to a final, losing the Europa League final didn't help anyone. You get there, you lose, you learn from that. But unfortunately, when you're in that period that we were in, we've regressed from that, and that's just the toughest part. Right, Kev, whilst you give us all your answers, we've got 530 in live chat right now, Kev.
265 minimum. Come on, guys. Likes. We need the likes. Yeah, go on, Vinny. Go on, Vinny. Smash it, Vinny. Go on. Go on, Vinny. Smash it. Get that like button. Smash, people. Vinny's showing you the way. Come on. Vinny's showing you the way. I love that. Can we get that again, please, Sophie?
Matthew Hudson is the Don. I love Matthew. He sent us this, Kev.
Go on, Vinny, son. Go on. Look at that. Vinny's on it. He's on it.
Vinny Vieira is on it.
He's on it. I love that. Hit that like button, people. Come on. So, how important was it for our forwards to score against West Brom? It was so important for us moving forward as a football club. Why, Sophie? And I know it's Man City tomorrow, etc. But if you go into that game having maybe lost and your forwards not scored, your confidence is on the floor. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we have a remote chance of winning at the Etihad. We haven't won there in a long time. But you know what? I'd rather go there with all our forwards buzzing because they've scored in the week. And yeah, it was against a young West Bromwich Albion team. But you know what? Imagine they didn't score against a young West Bromwich Albion team. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather Lacazette, I'd rather Pepe, Saka, and the person who I said is the main man, he needs to turn up this season in Aubameyang. He got the hat trick. He's got to be our guy this season. And if he gets chances, we want him to have the confidence to take them. And that's hopefully what now can start to come. He will start to take those chances.
Kev, 20 goals from Aubameyang this season makes a massive... Where do you think that takes us?
Do you know what, Sophie? 20 goals from Aubameyang is going to be key to challenge for Europe, in a sense. But it's where we get the other goals. How many goals does Saka get? How many goals does Lacazette get? How many goals does Pepe get? These are the keys. Because if you have a supporting cast who get goals with Aubameyang's 20 goals, that's when we're in Europe, Soph. That's when we're in Europe. But if Aubameyang gets 20 goals, but the others suffer, then, we're putting too much pressure on Aubameyang. We've got to share it out. He's got to get his quota, but we've got to be able to share it out. And that's why I think it's so important that we scored goals across the front. And even Lacazette coming off the bench scoring was really important for us as a football club.
Yeah, this is a good question too, Rydog. We've been saying it for a while. Pepe needs to score more goals. Laka, of course, we say just plays a bit of a different game to everybody else. He's the kind of conduit that allows and opens things up on and off the ball for others to score goals. But when Laka's on, he's on. I mean, and over or under.
I think we need over.
We need over for sure.
We need over. 45 or over. We need. That's for sure. That's what we need. If we're going to be serious contenders, that's what we need. And we need others to chip in with a couple here and there. We need some defenders, centre-halves to get a couple of goals. And it was good to see Gabriel play 45 minutes for the reserves.
Yeah, it was.
Spurs today, by the way.
Yes.
2-1. So
yeah, that was really, really good. Really good. At Demsek, we're going to get to that a little bit more next week with the expectation. Once the window shuts and we know exactly what this team looks like, we're going to do some very interesting analysis with some great guests in the next week or so. So hold on to your hats on that one. Right, Kev, second question.
Second question, should Ramsdale be the number one ahead of Leno? At the moment, no. At the moment, no. Solely because he's just come in. But I think this season, Ramsdale will be number one. Because I honestly think Leno's got a mistake in him, a real mistake in him. And I don't think we can afford to carry too many mistakes this season, Soph, because it's going to be really tight to really get up there in the league. So any mistake is going to be magnified. Really is.
And I also think, and good evening, Gooner Russ. Welcome to the show. Good to have you here.
Russ, how are you, man?
Kev, I don't think Arteta's going to be forgiving if Leno makes one mistake. If he makes one mistake, I think it gives him that rationale to cut the cord completely from Leno.
It does.
Do you agree with that?
I agree, because I think we've spoken about it at the back end of last season. We've spoken about it through preseason. There's got to be a ruthlessness to what we do now, Sophie. Because, he's been good before, but it's costing us now. No, can't happen. He's played long enough in the Premier League to know now the mistakes we have to cut out. That's for sure.
Yeah. And we talked about this one too, Kev, about his vocalness at the back. And I heard this from a few of the fans that went away to West Brom, that they could hear him. He was
speaking the game.
Yes.
Yeah, speaking the game to the. And that's huge. Of course, it's huge. And what you want to do. So if you want to build that chemistry with the players in front of you, that they trust the shout from behind them. Because the goalkeeper is the last line defense. He can see everything. So, move right, move left, do this, do that. Blah, 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 blah. I think it's really important. And I'm not sure whether Leno's got that command of the defense.
Not only the defense, it's just the command, like, just the boss keeper. Do you know what I mean, Kev? Like yelling, and because you want your goal. I mean, you don't want him to be Kepa. You don't want him to be that arrogant where he refuses to come off as a sub. That's one of the best things I've ever seen, by the way. Oh God, it never gets old. But you want him to have this arrogance, and boss them. And Ramsdale has a confidence in him. I like it. Right, Kev, question number 3.
Last but not least, what's more important, Europe or a trophy? And Sophie, this actually is the trick question. Because we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone by winning a trophy, can't we?
We could, yes.
Although I know, of course, we want to be much better in the league, 100%. But winning a bit of silverware and getting into Europe, that's a beautiful story. And then pushing on in the league, I think it's really, really important. Arsenal need to be back in Europe, 100%. But you know what the club's been built on? The club's been built on trophies. That's the bottom line. It's been built on trophies. Yeah, getting into Europe serves a purpose. Of course it does. But there's no trophy for that. There is no trophy for that. Being a successful team, youngsters starting to win trophies is so important. And for me, we're getting young players into a team with some experienced players. Hopefully we could make a couple of moves by the end of it. They've got to start winning again. We won an FA Cup a couple of years ago now, Sophie. We want to win trophies. We want at Arsenal to have that winning mentality because winning cures all. When we win, it makes everybody feel better.
You know, Kev, it's interesting because when you look back at some of the players, right, and that last FA Cup that you're talking about and inspiring young players like the Hayland boys, only one is going to be here, you know, in the future. Willock's gone. Looks like Eddie's probably going to go to Crystal Palace, and who knows what's going to happen with Reece. There's rumours that Palace, you know, want him too. But these three, you know, you talk about getting young players in it. They can move on from that. They get that competitiveness, that taste. But unfortunately, then they didn't make it. They're not all going to make it at the Arsenal.
Welcome to high-level football. Welcome to the top level. And having promise is one thing, and having potential is one thing. But at the end of the day, Sophie, we know. We've seen players with a lot of potential. The key is, again, when you get on that pitch, you've got to prove it, and you have to prove it consistently. That's the name of the game. You prove it consistently, you get more chances. Saka, who is the youngest one, he's come right past them all because he's been the most consistent of them all. Smith Rowe has bypassed them. You get the opportunity, Sophie, you've got to take it. Unfortunately, Willock, Nketiah, and Nelson haven't really taken their opportunity.
Well, and like you said, it doesn't mean that not everyone's going to be Saka and ESR's quality, but it's also important that players in that team, even for the Aubameyangs and the Lacazettes and the Pepes of the world, especially the Pepes of the world, to win that FA Cup, you know, it was good. And then sometimes, you know, it's just tough when you don't push on from that. Again, it's just real tough that we haven't pushed on from the FA Cup wins in the Premier League. And again, I'll stand by my comment where it just always feels like we're appeasing fans, trying to convince them that we can compete in the Premier League with those FA Cup teams, and we all know that is absolutely not the case. So, okay. I think that is it, Kev. I mean, there's a lot of questions we talked about the Qatari group with Kenny Ken last week. We're going to touch on it. We've got David Hillier back for the Tuesday-ish Club on Tuesday, and we're going to do a lot of housekeeping in that show. Answering a lot of your questions that are coming in. Aziz, Kev are going on loan to League One club, but playing for the same manager that Emile Smith-Rowe played for, Cowley, when he was at Huddersfield. Mm-hmm. So clearly there's a plan there, at least, in terms of how they saw Emile Smith-Rowe evolve under Cowley.
Let's see how he does. Let's see how different players, but let's see how he does. Again, not every loan will work out sometimes, but the key is to get him minutes and get him in a game environment, Sophie, where some people are relying on the win bonus. It's not under 23s football where you have it, we have it. No, people need to feed their kids with the win bonus, so it means a lot. So he might be more talented than the 28-year-old he's playing against. But the 28-year-old is a lot more determined, and he's rugged and he's rough. And that's what you got to contend with. Can he handle that part?
Yeah. Well, we're going to get stuck more into that. As I said, some interesting subjects coming up. And to answer your question, I know I went straight to Tuesday, Taib. Monday is Monday Madness, and joining myself and Super Kev will be Harry Symeou and Dan Potts. So look forward to that. On Tuesday, we have the Tuesday-ish Club with David Hillier. I'll give you more info tomorrow because I will be back for the post-game show tomorrow. But Super Kev, you are working tomorrow.
Yes, I am in London tomorrow, and I am working all weekend. So I'm back on Sky on Sunday morning, 10 till 12. So you see me there. And then I am doing German football, Wolfsburg versus Leipzig.
Oh, nice.
On Sunday. So I'm doing that later on Sunday. So, yeah.
Yeah. It was really weird not being able to talk about the Europe, even the Europa League draw this year. Like I totally even forgot that it was happening. You know,
we're not in it, so leave it.
Yeah,
leave it.
So,
right. Could you imagine being a Spurs fan and nobody even knew their draw?
I mean, what is people raving about Harry Kane's back scoring goals? Are you kidding me? Just stop the madness. It just drives me. Oh, God, it just drives me. A mate of mine posted a picture of him. He goes, "Oh, I've never been to the stadium. It's so beautiful. Look at that." I go, "It's your trophy. Your stadium is your trophy. Get used to it." Crikey. Terrible. Anyway, Kev, thank you, Wesbird. Great show. 550 of you. I'm going to have to bring this out one more time, Kev. The squaddies did love it.
Vinny Vieira, go on, son, go on. Go on, Vinny. Hit it. Hit that like button. Look at Vinny. He's on it. Go on. He's determined. He's determined to get the likes up. So come on.
I mean, look, because Matthew designed it thinking of Vinny Vieira picturing Tottenham, you know? So, I mean, he did pretty well there. Matthew, thank you again for taking the time to do that for us. We really appreciate it. I will update you on some other shows tomorrow, okay, you guys, that I've mentioned before. It's been crazy scheduling. It's been a crazy we're waiting for the transfer window to shut before we kick in with some of our new series as well. All right, Kev, it's over to you. No cards tonight on a Kevin tonight. Says no cards.
Well, do you know what? The squaddies have been good tonight, and I think that Vinny Vieira has taken the shine away from me and you. I'm telling you, what a guy, what a unbelievable dog, man. I'm telling you, hit that like button and keep it in it. Even when you watch the show after, keep it in the like button. Squaddies, you know we love you. Sophie is the hostess with the mostest. I'm Super Kev, and we're saying up the Arsenal. And squaddies, we love you. And at ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.